time when Major League ballparks remain empty and anxiously await for the special day they open up their gates for their baseball fanatics, the 12 baseball general managers remain focused on the upcoming event, the 2016 Major League Baseball Player Draft. As the player evaluation process gains high intensity, there's only one thing left unsettled, and that is the American League and National League divisional lineups. As spring training keeps rolling along, the general managers remain extremely analytical, some of them already engaging in trade talk negotiations, as the others take a more mellow approach, never forgetting the ones that lose their mind by focusing on the heavy uncertainty that lies ahead of a long journey that only guarantees one thing: that games will get heated. Divisional rivalries will be born as the American League and National League divisional lineups start right now. And the stage is set, and here's a list of the general managers about to compose the two divisions, the American League and the National League. Now, the names that are circled are the top 6 contenders of the last 2 seasons. They'll be separated into the first pool to guarantee that the league has a more level playing field. Now, the first name out of the spinner will be allocated into the American League slot. The second number out of the spinner will go to the National League. The third comes back down to the American League. The fourth back up again to the National League, and so on. The sequence will follow that order. So it's ready to go, as the first name out of the spinner will be the first member of the American League as the divisional lineups start right now. Now, the first, second, and third place out of each divisions will make the playoffs. The first place overall will get a bye, anxiously awaiting a match between the winner of the second and third place, eventually meeting the winner of the other division into the World Series. So the American League has its first member, and it's Eric Garcia from Houston, Texas. He'll be topping off the list of American Leaguers as the National League will claim its first member for the upcoming spin. Now, Eric Garcia will have a very difficult decision to make in the upcoming draft. He doesn't know if General Manager Luis Romero and General Manager Paul Martin will choose Paul Goldschmidt or Clayton Kershaw in that order, so he'll have to make the decision between Josh Donaldson and Bryce Harper. And the National League will have its first member, and it is Chance Ward from Los Angeles, California. He'll be leading off the National League as last year's champion. He will be separated for the first time from Eric in the divisional play, as the American League will claim its second member. Now, Chance has the privilege of choosing the first pick in the first round for the upcoming draft. And he has made an official announcement in a press conference that he will indeed select the game's most prolific athlete, Mike Trout. So good luck to Chance in the upcoming draft, as the American League will claim its second member, and it is Mario Ochoa from Los Angeles, California, and he'll duke it out with Eric from opening day on for the American League pennant. And now the National League needs its second member. Now, Mario's been working on a very interesting trade. He will swap away his first round pick for several other picks down in the draft. Now, whoever's the recipient of that trade will get a chance to draft 2 players in the first round. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, as the National League gets its second member, and it is Carlos Quintero from Venice, California, the other champion of the 2-year existence of the league, and they'll top off the National League, so good luck for anyone else that continues on to the National League. Now, the American League will get its third member. Now, Carlos will be choosing in the 12th pick overall, which is not the attractive slot in the upcoming draft. He will be one of the guys working really hard towards striking a deal with Mario Ochoa for that trade of his first round pick. And the American League gets its third member, and it is Bobby the Big Trade Machine Romano. Oh my, this guy will be starting to press buttons all over the place starting on opening day, asking for a blockbuster trade. He's been doing that along for the longest time. And now the National League, as default, will receive his third member, and and that is Miguel the Silver Slugger Maldonado. He will join the tough league that's already composed by Chance and Carlos, and now the American League will get his fourth member. Now Miguel will be choosing fifth overall. He has the notorious habit of getting the first, the second, the third, and the fourth sluggers available in that order. So look out for Miguel. He's definitely an offensive force. And now the American League will get its fourth member, and it's Marco Romero. The big boss of Los Angeles will join his son in the American League, as Mario and Eric are anticipating a great battle between the Romeros this coming season. And now the National League will claim its fourth member, but not before we mention that Marco Romero will choose 10th overall. Now he's literally out of the Clayton Kershaw sweepstakes, so he'll have to settle with someone like an ex-Dodger, maybe Dee Gordon in the upcoming draft. And the National League will get its fourth member, and good luck to this guy. And it's Mikey Espinosa from Houston, Texas. He'll be duking it out with Chance, Carlos, and Miguel for the National League pennant. My oh my, quite a long journey for Mikey, since he's dreaming about drafting Carlos Correa, the great Houston Astros shortstop. But we'll see if players like Bobby or even Marco himself will allow him to choose. And now the American League will get its fifth member, and it is Ruben Lopez from Los Angeles, California, the newcomer into the league. He'll join the American League, as the National League is asking for its fifth member. Coming up next, now Ruben is a newcomer into the league, and he's been analyzing his choices, his chances into the draft, that is. He's doing it up and down, left and right, so it'll be interesting to see how his draft would look after opening day. And now the National League gets his fifth member, and that is Paul Martin from Houston, Texas. Another newcomer. Paul Martin will have a long way to go as far as competition goes into the National League, but it's okay because he does draft third pick overall in the upcoming draft. Now, we don't know if he's going to end up with Paul Goldschmidt or having to make the decision to part with Clayton Kershaw. Will definitely have to be really agonizing for Paul Martin. And now the American League receives its last member, and it's Edson Bake. And now, there it is, folks. The American League has been completed with Eric, the most patient general manager the league has seen, the now competitive Mario Choa, Bobby the big trade machine, Marco the big boss of Los Angeles, Ruben Mr. Baseball Lopez, and Edson the big Korean Brazilian Yankee fan joining the American League. And as default, the last name in the spinner left is Luis Romero. He'll be joining a very difficult National League. And there is the evidence. Luis Romero will join in the National League, and there is the official lineup, headed by the always dangerous Chance Ward, Mr. Comeback Carlos Quintero, Miguel the Silver Slugger Maldonado, the always ready Mikey Espinosa, and don't count these two guys out, Paul and Luis Romero. They have the second and third pick respectively in the upcoming draft. So the winner of the American League and National League pennants will duke it out in a titanic battle for the main event, the 2016 World Series. But not before they bring in their trash talk in a league in which anything goes, from the classic chokers to the dangerous trailers, from the threatening sleepers to the big-time winners. There will be one thing left to do, and that is cope with the anxiety of what players will the general manager select in the upcoming draft to become the lone man standing.